when you exited the league, obviously it was a lot of talk, a lot of controversy.
When others went low, I went high. They said I was crazy. Now they dancing like me. Put that on.
Appreciate that.
Came from the struggle. I had to hustle. Get out the muscle. This is no tussle. Don't gotta touch. Put that on.
The pit, not the palace. The legend himself, AB. What's going on, brother?
What's up, baby?
I'm good, man. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, baby. REVOLT.
Business is booming.
Business is booming. It's been a slogan for a long time.
That
I should keep it on.
keep that.
That's the most important part.
That's the most important part.
Yeah,
So we're going to have
it.
I feel like this is going to be a classic conversation.
Oh, we know that.
We still got some unfinished business to finish
That's
after
right.
this is over.
That's a
We'll
fact.
talk about that later on.
You'll see that footage later.
A little homework.
We'll see that later on.
Get that done.
Well, we're going to, I want to start off with the business. We're going to talk a lot business this. And I'm going to start right away. President of Donda Sports.
Yes.
So shout out to Ye. So what's that entail? What's your vision for Donda Sports?
Well, just finding the next future superhero, helping them fulfill his mission or goal or whatever he's trying to be. Right now we got an academy school for the high school kid, a basketball team, and just providing kids the opportunity to live out their dreams and control their narrative. So right now that's where we started, Justin LeBoy, hands-on with me in the process. So we just keep building, just work for the next pioneers of the future to provide them the best opportunities.
Yeah, I was wondering that because I'm like, Donda, obviously, AB, booming. I just want to know how involved, because you didn't just start with signing like regular people.
Yeah.
Like you got probably the best NFL player probably in the past 10 years in Aaron Donald, and then you got Jaylen Brown, who was in the finals this year. So how involved were you in the process of selecting the athletes to represent the brand?
Well, it's really mostly on Justin LeBoy. He's the one who run it hands-on, me being the president, just making sure the infrastructure there as far as the guys need for the younger generation, what they need, professional guys like Jaylen Brown and, Aaron Donald, they already superstars and already paved their own way per se, So for me, it's just, pioneer the future, looking for the next guys that want to be the best and looking for those opportunities. Obviously, we got a sportswear brand, the Donda hoodies. It's viral. Those sell out. We got the merch. So it's a lot of things we doing outside of athletics. Obviously I'm an artist too, so I work with that with Ye, and it's just, controlling your narrative, being who you want. A lot of people numbers, but I'm 1099, so I'm independent.
Nah,
So-
break that down for them. Break that down for them. I want that to go over their heads. 1099, independent.
Yeah, if you're doing business, if you're paying people, if you're not running W-9s, you got to give them 1099s. If not, you're going to be paying twice the tax. So, my business booming. So, I could let you know a game or two on, how to protect the business revenue. Because what you pay, if you're not, W-9 or 1099, you're not getting your return on your tax. So, business booming, being the president, you want to pioneer the game, not the players that's already pioneered. We looking for, young, inspired, talent that's really ready to live out their dreams, We all as players have dreams of what you want to become and aspirations. So it's all about being inspired, If you're inspired and you're willing to, be your best self and want to control your narrative, Donda Sports.
Come to Donda Sports.
Yo, I felt that, like that energy.
The new Death Row Records. So like you obviously one of the greatest to ever do it. You've been a professional for a long time. What do you want to do different from like maybe what has been done in your career, or have you seen your teammates, your peers? Like what's your vision to actually change the game?
Well, the game never changed, just the players in it. So you can impact the game as far as how you come and how you play the game, but the game never changed, just the players in it. So the thing I would say is know when to walk off. You got to know when to walk off the field. You know what I mean? Because life is not about the field. The field is just what you do. It's not who I am. We all do things in life for a job or for a wager. it may not get a lot of attention as far as a sports athlete, but it's just what I do. And I think in life you got to know when what you do and who you around when they kind of get entangled. Because every day I get like, it's always, targeted. We got to deal with it and it's nonstop. So, for me, it's just you got to know when to walk off and you got to know, not to let people tell you what's best for you, knowing who you are. Because a lot of people doing things or working in the business in survival mode, I like to think I play football to be the best and to be able to take care of my family and to do all the right things. And I just say you should know when to walk off because, it's a life outside the field. It's a life outside the court. It's a life outside the arena. It's a life outside your job. And, we all going to die. So while you're here, you got to know when to hit that switch off. A lot of people go 0 to 100, but can you go 100 to 0 and still be true to yourself? Because, CTE and a lot of stuff scribed from the trauma for the game is nonstop trauma. They hit on me every day. Like, it's nonstop. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's never ending. So it's like, as a player, as a person, as a human, know when to, know when to go in your zone, know when to walk off. They told Ye he always be a producer. He had to know when to, to do what he had to do to, be himself. So for me, stay true to yourself and know when you got to walk off.
What was that transition like? Because obviously at one point you're being celebrated, you're everywhere, you're on the cover of everything, and then at another point it's like, well, now you became the villain for the things that you used to be celebrated for, and so it's like, how do you deal with that?
That's a part of the game. That's what a lot of people don't want to deal with, the reality, the truth of what are we signing up for. You know what I mean? And you sign up for this game and you just sign up to change your life. You don't know that it's risking your health. It's causing brain damage. It's causing relationship trauma. But no one cares about that. People care about entertainment. Could you get in the end zone? Could you make them dance? Could you sell tickets? Could you win trophies? I did all that. So in reality, it's just knowing what's right for you. Knowing when your why, knowing what's your why and what are you doing and when it's time to, because everybody don't have the best transition, There's a lot of players now out there that you never hear from or never see or you can't touch.
Mm-hmm.
And, just knowing when to walk off and, take your situation for yourself.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the music. The music is booming.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying this because it's actually good music. Like, and you got songs with some of the top artists. You charted. A lot of songs going viral on TikTok. So, when did your passion for music come, and when did you decide to really take music serious?
I always had a passion for music. Just expressing myself, being creative. I have a drive and a passion to do that. So, music will always be an outlet for me, especially being a player and not being able to explain yourself. I have to come do interviews, and I do them from their point of view or their perspective of what they're trying to get out or how they're trying to rationalize me or how they're trying to, minute or minimize my role. So, knowing that, you know what I'm saying? You just do what's best for you, man. The first rule of life is self-preservation. You gotta take care of yourself first. So if you ain't self-sufficient, you can't really take care of no one else. So for me, I just take care of myself in the midst of whatever's going on.
It's not self-sufficient. You can't put that.
Well,
You
and
can't.
you can't keep it on.
You can't keep
It's
it
gonna
on.
be difficult.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Extremely challenging.
So you have a deal with Video, I believe, $5 million a year to drop new music.
I don't gotta deal with nobody, man. I own myself.
Okay.
I got a partnership with a couple people, but we do our own deals. I'm a successful football player. I made a lot of money in contracts. So we don't need no deals. We only buying in. We own it in the ownership. We own it only into repping our own self. So I don't need no deals. If anything, with me, it's a partnership.
So you said you got to score touchdowns and you got to dance.
Yeah.
And so put that on as a hit. We know that. But it also comes with a dance. And so
Yes.
we've seen this happen a lot in our culture where we
Yeah.
create something and we don't own it. And I know you're big on ownership.
Yes.
We've seen people take it, put it in video games, put it on
Yes.
TikTok. But you did a little different, you said, right? So with your dance, how did you manage to own that? What was the process?
Well, obviously, we bought the Do Your Dance AB web and all that. And obviously, I'm the first originator. You know, once you originate something, shout out to Reek for Rolling Loud, you know, providing me that platform, you know, to push the Paradigm album. You know, I had a whole paradigm shift. You ever wake up and have a revolution? It's like everything changed. It's like everything changed, and, you know, I was able to perform on Rolling Loud. Shout out to Rolling Loud for giving me the opportunity. You know, the first NFL player to ever perform at Rolling Loud, and the dance went viral, the song, put that shit on, and I'm just doing what I normally do. You know, when the rats come in, you know, I like to put that shit on, you know. So when the rats come in, you know, it was a blessing, man. It's just, you know, to be able to get your craft or have respect for your craft. You know, a lot of people, when they do certain things, that, you know, they try to label you, or you got to just play ball, or you can't. You know, you can do whatever you want to do, man. Just work hard at it, and you know, treat it like anything. You know, it take discipline, it take a good team, it take hard work, it take courage. You know what I mean? To believe in yourself to do whatever you want to do. You know, they said Ye couldn't do nothing but produce. You know what I mean? The bigger, you know, they say he couldn't do fashion. So it's not about what they say, it's about what we do. So I'm just here to do the do.
Yeah, you've been saying that. I mean, it's consistent. In like 2016, you said, I'm not just a football player, I'm not just an athlete, I'm a businessman first. And so that's why I'm saying like the dance part is so key, because now when you own it, you can license it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But you just brought up another key point, and it's the team. And so as you're going through this transition from saying I'm a businessman, not really for you, but for the people around you,
Yeah.
what was that like? Are they encouraging you, or they're saying, hey, this may not be good for your quote-unquote brand at the time?
A lot of people gonna have say-sos, but, you know, they're not in your position. You know, my whole thing is, you know, to have the right people around me. You know what I mean? If you have the right people around you thinking according to the mission or the vision, what you guys set out to do or set out to be, then they should be encouraging in that way. But, you know, obviously when people don't understand things and, you know, they look at me as a football player and they want me to do football, you know, they have some emotion there in that regards. But it's about, you know, having the right people that'll keep you encouraged and, you know, somewhat may understand the vision, because as a creator, you know, sometimes people don't always see it.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of football, education standpoint is important, because a lot of people are fans of football,
Yeah.
but they don't understand the business behind it.
Yeah.
And we got educated. We got a couple of friends that's in the league, and you know, like you see the guaranteed contracts a lot,
Exactly.
and a lot of the guaranteed contracts never actually get paid. I know you've had issues in the past, so can you talk about that? Like, I'm gonna ask you a few questions about like the league, but guaranteed contracts. Can you kind of explain that, like why it's not always what it seems to be?
Yeah, because the NFL is ran by the NFL, and the NFLPA is what protect the players. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same business that's working with you and that's working for you, working against you and working for you. So, you know, it's like, how you gonna win when your lawyer work for the NFL? It's NFL and NFLPA. So they making deals that's the common interest for the NFL. So as a player, you know what I mean, you just gotta be smart and know what you come in the NFL for, and understand first and foremost it's a business. So, you know, within business, everything may not go the way you want it to go, but in business, you got to take care of your business. Football is not a bad game. You know, it changed my life. It put me in this position where I'm at today. It just, you got to know when to walk off. I don't have unlimited health to keep, you know, cutting on boys, getting tackled. So it's just, you know, life moves on. I mean, you remember who won the Super Bowl in 1989? Who won? You know?
Yeah.
Who?
The 49ers.
See, you a football champ.
Yeah,
He's like a Rain
What
Man,
about
dog.
45?
1945?
Yeah.
Oh, that's before. That's way before me.
That's
There was no
what I'm
NFL.
saying.
There was no NFL.
Eventually, people forget.
Yeah. There was no NFL.
Exactly.
Who won in '93?
Cowboys,
What about 2000,
Ravens.
2020?
2000. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Was it you?
obviously. Hello.
There you go. I mean,
Bro, you smart. You know the game. That boy know the game. See, it's like one-on-one person you would meet that really actually know. You ask a normal person, they don't know. What are you talking about?
And then like another thing, like players don't know a lot of times, like what they call jock tax, right? Where it's like you get taxed for each state that you play in.
Like once you see the contract, man, it's just the number. The contract could be revoked at any time. If you get in the wrong situation, the contract could be taken. You know, that could be revoked anytime, so there's no guarantees. And you getting hit with 50% tax. Then you got a 46%. Then you got to pay your agent. Then if you're in the city, you might have state tax. So, yeah, they make the number look real good online, but, you know, there's some state tax in there, some taxes, some agent fees. And, you know, sometimes in the contract, you know, the money could always be the most in the back the farther you go. So, you know, that's how NFL is structured. And, you know, we don't have guys that's, you know, breaking the mold or changing the way the deals get done, and then that's the way the game gonna be.
Yeah, so the goal is to try to get the guarantee, but I know one of the things toward the tail end of your career, and we see with a lot of veterans, is they get the incentivized contracts.
Of course, because now you think you're so good, but the older you get, just the honest of the business, the lower they trying to give you your salary. So no matter how good you is, the whole thing is to get you out of the game with a low salary, and that's the business. And, you know, as a player, you know, being a player, understanding the business is two different things.
Did you like so when they have like those rookie symposiums and financial advisors come and talk to the guys? Is that beneficial or is it just a waste?
Nah, I feel like I won't never say it's a waste because, you know, players who never grew up with money, just having money need some type of per se, but they can't have a meeting with a bunch of rookie guys who all got to get drafted and looking at each other for the first time in the draft class. They hear about someone talking about money, and no one's going to listen to some random guy tell you what to do with your money, and you just work this hard and just, you know what I mean? So, you know, money can be complicated. The whole thing is, you know, you got to trust God. You can't, you know, put your finances on somebody else because you never know.
Call God.
Yeah, you got to call him.
Call God.
That's the only one.
Call God.
Call God.
You need finances?
Call God.
Call God, gang.
I think that's what's so impressive about your career, right? Obviously, it's a Hall of Fame career, but it started with incentivized, right? Because coming out of Central Michigan, nobody's thinking like, this is going to be the guy. He's too short. He's not fast enough. He doesn't run great routes. But you had the initiative and the wherewithal and the determination, work ethic as well, to figure out I'm gonna get incentivized. Then I got the good deal. So what's that like, right? You're incentivized at the start. You made the money in the beginning, and now you're incentivized at the end. Is it kind of like, hey, I've been here before?
It's kind of like, hey, bro, you know, you came in, this how I go on the way out. It's kind of like the business.
Right.
And, you know, some players, they don't understand it. It's like, you know, I had to ask myself, like, yo, I'm really out here playing for $1 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I do 50 clubs, 15,000, that's like 1.5. I didn't get taco yet. You see what I'm saying? So you start to make better decisions for yourself, you know what I mean? At what you thought was important then is not important now. And it's like in life, you got to live in the now. And I think some players get stuck in the midst of, damn, man, I missed a moment on my career. I feel like in my career, I always, you know, prepared myself and performed the way I wanted, so I never lived with a regret. If I didn't like the team, I said, I don't like them. You know what I mean? I just stood on what I believe because I know what it was going to take within me and God to be able to prep myself to be ready for what I need to do to earn my spot. You know, one thing about NFL is you got to earn it.
Would a team ever do, like, I know a lot of contracts is incentive-based.
Yeah.
Would a team ever sabotage a player so that he doesn't reach the incentive so they have to pay him?
A team could do what they want.
But have you seen that?
I mean, of course, you've seen it all in the game, but it's just a part of the game. Like I said, the game don't change, there's players in it. So, you know, in life, they don't treat everybody the same. You know, the girl with the nice yoga pants, she might get a better discount than the girl with the sloppy pants. You know, it's just how life work, you know, depending on the type of player you is, depending on how you're going to get treated. So, you know, you can't look at situations and judge it. You know, you just got to do what's best for you in your situation as a player. And for me as a player, I really did everything in the game that you could strive to want to do. All pros, Super Bowls, you know what I'm saying, Pro Bowls. I mean, highlights, memories, money. You know, that's what you pay the game for, to change your family or your life for a living. You know what I'm saying? You can't score. You can't play forever. You know, it's health involved. It's like all kind of stuff that go in it.
Yeah, so you talked about making better business decisions. And so obviously there's a generation that you're the best receiver that they've seen in their lifetime. So how do you think your impact on that side of it, right? Showing them that there's life after football, even while you're playing football.
Yes,
You think you're having an impact for the younger generation? I know you mentioned.
absolutely. I feel like giving athletes the courage. There's a lot of athletes that been in college that is really good and may not get a shot at the next level and may have some talent in some other ways, but was really depressed by how it ended or how it finished, and he couldn't really express his ways and himself in other ways. It's some college players that was real superstars on campus. College players are getting paid now. Some of those guys could have started a business back then. My cousin went to Central Michigan. They was giving out weed cards back then. So imagine if he had a weed card in 2007, what that'd be worth for right now. He may have a field, but it's like if you don't get the opportunity in college to be able to learn, sport that trade, or exercise that right, we having a lot of athletes that's coming from these colleges. It's 119 Division Ones. It's about how many kids, 200-300 kids every school, 119. So it's like 100,000 kids. Maybe 200 of them go pro. So the rest of the other kids, it's like what happened to him. It could have been a kid who been the best in college, who maybe could have started a business. Let's say Johnny Manziel. He could have been still a Texas hero, but it's just giving players the hope and the courage, to stand bold that they could just you could be anything you want to be if you put the right work ethic and discipline and do the right things. Give them more hope. Maybe more athletes is partnering up, making more opportunities at the university. Coming together and maybe changing the game eventually.
Yeah. So where did your business savvy come from, right? So Florida, Miami, right? Central Michigan College, go to Pittsburgh, obviously a couple other stops after that. Where did you get the business savvy? Was it taught to you, or were you educating yourself throughout the process?
Well, in life, you got to take care of business. If you don't take care of your business, then no one else going to take care of you. So I knew right out the bat, coming from Miami, being the kid that go to Central Michigan, I'm going there for a purpose. I'm going there for a reason. If not to get an education, to go to NFL. So I know for me, my discipline and focus was to make that happen. So I came with a purpose and I came with intent, to live out my vision of what I went to school to do. So, I feel like with everybody in life, you got to know who you are, be true to yourself, and know what you want out of life, because they got the rules and they show you what it takes to be that. If you want to be a football player, you know what it's going to take to be that. You know what you got to go through. And are you willing to go through what you got to go through to get what you want? That's what life's about. So for me, I wanted to be a football player. I went to Central Michigan. I walked there and I earned a scholarship. I left in 3 years as a junior because that was my goal. That's what's between me and God. So I think if you make a vision, whatever your vision is in life, just stick to God and live that out so you stay true to yourself, because the world will get you distracted and caught up with other people. Just be your best self and be your best you.
So let's talk about real estate. Booming estates.
Oh, how you know about that?
We do a little research.
Yeah.
So you partnered with the champ, Floyd.
You know that.
He got a $100 million commercial real estate company. So how's that been going, and why'd you want to work with Floyd?
Well, obviously Floyd, one of the most successful athletes of our generations in regards of, selling the hard working, dedication, discipline, and getting the best deals, putting himself in the best situation to get the mega star deals, and still to this day. So for me, it's all about, when I'm not playing, to be able to make the big checks, I want to make my millions work for me. So partner with a, real estate company with over $1 billion in equity, putting some millions in there, just help my residual. So now I got to wake up and look for money. They provided me interest off equity every month. When I wake up, I know there's something consistent coming. That's what you want to do. You want to, life is not about working hard. It's about finding less ways to work and making things work for you. So we're not looking for no work. We're not looking for more deals. We're just looking for more things we could buy or buy into that's going to just keep suitable to our living standards.
So prior to linking up with the champ, were you building your own real estate portfolio? Were you into the real estate game yourself?
I got the homestead tax in Florida that protect the asset. I own 3 houses myself. You know, I got my own real estate company, Booming Estates. I got $14 million in properties myself. So, you know, I keep a couple pads or whatever. You know, I got that in there and I got that on. Clearly.
So
Yeah.
you partner with two
Yeah.
of the biggest figures in the culture in the world, Kanye and Floyd. Talk about each one of them, like, because they're both controversial people in their own regards. What made you take a liking to them, and what do you see in them that you can, like, okay, this is beneficial relationship?
I just feel like business just gotta be, you know, good for the business, not about who the person is. You know, when doing business, you gotta get contracts with lawyers. You gotta get agreements and stick to those. You know, you can't just invest with a guy because he make money. You know, it's gotta be the right deal that's suitable for you. So when I look at deals and investment, it don't care what guy. You know, they gotta talk to Ace Aaron, and he gotta get with the lawyers to make sure the paperwork's suitable, so we not getting entangled, because you know, a lot of guys could lose money for just partnering with guys for who they is. You know, and it's all about having your own. You know, if you could partner with some and add to or see some back. You know, I got my own money, so like, even without these guys, you know, I made $100 million a contract, and I did the right thing with my money, so I'm able to be who I want to be, and not so in a survival mode as most people. They just working to try to save up for life. You know what I'm saying? Well, I already done did that part, so I'm able to, you know, live and look at it a little different.
So when you're an athlete, like you said, over 70, $80 million in contracts with the NFL, obviously you had endorsements with companies as well. You have to be disciplined to be an athlete, for sure. Did you have the financial discipline as well? Because we see a lot of athletes that don't have that, a lot of entertainers that don't have that.
You gotta have that discipline, because you gotta think about life at the ball. So every year I try to write a goal, whatever the salary was, what I was gonna save, you know, what you're gonna live off. And then every year just, you know, learn how they do the books, you know, how to track the W-9, you know, and just every year educate yourself so you can just do it better.
While you were playing, were you living in Florida?
I always had a Florida state. You don't want to pay the state taxes, clearly.
That makes a lot of sense, right? Now, no state
Gotta
tax.
save a little bit, you
Save 20% there.
Of course.
That's beneficial. Do you still have a passion to play the game?
Of course, you know, I know I could, like, I be loving to get deep and score touchdowns, but, you know, it's a lot more into it now, you know what I'm saying? A lot of better things, of course. I see the game now, I be looking for a player to, like, give me a little resemblance to someone where I be like, yo, he's hungry enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? I be seeing who out there, I just don't see nothing in the game that's like.
Can't
There's a
find
few.
it.
It's a couple guys that I think really good, but, like,
Yeah.
name some guys who you think.
Jefferson's good.
Who that?
Jefferson.
Yeah, I like Justin Jefferson. They don't win no games, though. So it's like, of
All right,
course.
Jamar Chase.
Huh?
Jamar Chase.
Of course.
Talent-wise,
Chase fire.
not the flamboyancy that you have,
No,
but
I think
talent.
Chase fire, but for him to be a 6'2" guy, like, he's tall, his stride look like a small guy, right, when you see him play? No cap, though. I'm just being real. Nah, he could
But
do
he has getaway
everything.
speed, though.
No, he's elite.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is elite. He's
Yeah.
a great receiver, but just when I see him play, he looks smaller than what he is for real, right?
Well, I guess you could say that. I can see why. I see why you say that.
6'2", he like. I'm just being real. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
he could do everything in the game, but I'm saying when I watch the game, when you watch him, then you be like, yo, this guy hungry, or he's just a first round guy pick. When they just like, yo, you come in, and then we gon', you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm looking for a guy that's real hungry, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he feel like, we gotta keep watching.
How dependent is a wide receiver on a quarterback, though? Because you could be the best wide receiver in the world, and if your quarterback don't have that connection, it's not going to work out. Or is that not true?
I mean, you only receiver when you get the ball, so. You know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever it is, when you get the ball, we got to see you. When you rate the route, they got to see it. So, obviously, football is a team game, so you can't do nothing by yourself. You definitely got to have a quarterback, the O-line, the offense, the coordinator. You know, it take a lot to be a successful football player. A lot that goes into it. Obviously, the quarterback, a big factor, offensive coordinator. Situation has got to be a lot of things that are in your favor.
You talked about CTE. Is that something that you ever are concerned about yourself? Like,
Yeah, like sometimes I get real aggressive. Real aggressive. But you got to really understand that mentality because, you know, when you've been playing football so long, you just used to like, hold on, they did what? You look at everything as like, hold on. but it's, you know, it's a real life. So it's like life is not a football, but you know, when you spend so much time engaging in football fields and in life, you know, you could be aggressive on the football field. Like you could, you know, I could push the guy as much as I want between the whistles or whatever, because it's legal to be violent. But in life, you know, if someone screw you over, you know, in the football field, you could just go smack them, like have your way with them. But in life, you know, you can't do that. So, you know, sometimes in the split moment, you know, you gotta understand, you know, life is not the field. Sometimes you live in that state of being because, you know, you spend so much time in life in that area, you know?
You spent majority of your life
Of course.
in this craft. I mean, I hear the passion. Do you ever envision yourself being a part of the game, whether it's coaching or someday being a part of an ownership group or being the ownership group in a league like the NFL?
I don't know, you know, we think about buying a team, but I can't coach. You know, I'm barely on time as a player. Like, I'm gonna be there, you know. Y'all boys gonna have to coach yourself up. Y'all 21, y'all getting this money, right? Like, I'm not. I'm just putting that shit on. I'm not coaching nobody.
The Flyers owner.
Yeah, I don't think the owner too is, you know, it's a shady game. So it's like, as an owner, it's a lot of players. It's like, like, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather just keep it neutral, everyone, but positivity and love. You know, being an owner, there's a lot of things that come with that as well.
It's true.
I'd rather own a team, but not just be the owner when decisions and, you know, so much
and this is
go
like
into
the
that.
process in itself, right? You just can't. They got to vote you to even be a part of the situation.
It's a union.
It's a union, so people don't even
You
realize.
just can't just do that.
Exactly.
You know, you got to know somebody that knows something and they really like you or something.
Yeah.
You know, because we tried to buy Denver, but, you know, they ain't want to let us in. You know, we had the PR, the PE, everything,
Yeah.
you know.
Who was involved in the group?
You know, we had a lot of good people, you know, a lot of money.
Whole lot of
I
money.
mean, we had some in there. You know?
Yeah. I'm thinking back to the real estate play because obviously the booming real estate group and combined with Kanye, what he has with the the Donda Doves and having the high school, is that something that you guys have ever talked about where you're actually buying maybe schools and now finding other places to spread the Donda school? Because right now it's just only in California, right?
Yes.
But eventually maybe it spreads throughout the United States and again, eventually maybe the world. Is that something where it's like you might have more experience, I should say, in the space where he can lean on you for that?
Now, obviously, you know, me and Justin could collab with furthering the Donda brand, but it all started right here in LA first, the charter school.
Right.
We want to make sure these kids are the most successful and the most impacted. You know what I mean? So once we master this one, then we could branch off and do a lot more other things. But my guy Maya Orbach, I don't know if you know him. He's the owner of the Grizzly. You know, he's big in real estate. Got a big platform of real estate. Was on the board with us to buy Denver Broncos. And, you know, it's about the people, you know what I mean? We can set up buildings. We can set up football fields. We can set up warehouses. We could buy farms. But it don't mean none without the people. So we just in the business of taking care of the people. Who's the people? We are the people. The youth, the people we work with. And we just trying to maximize the people. The people happy, and then it's a process to get all that stuff because we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about, you know, mastering the people. The people that's working with the kids, the people that's there committed on a daily basis, and the people that's going to further along their future to help these kids be the best. You know, and that's all kind of our motto. You know, we ain't trying to, you know, make it look sexy. We just trying to further the youth, impact the youth, and help the future superheroes, you know, achieve their goals.
Donda Sports, you know, from a management perspective, a lot of people saying that an agent is not needed for a player anymore. Like Bobby Wagner doesn't have an agent.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? You think players still need agents, or they can negotiate their own contracts? They don't need an agent.
Now I feel like you always need an agent because how you gonna look at a guy you negotiate with him when you think you're worth 10 mil and the guy say, man, we only got 2.5. So as a player, you gotta, you know, live with that business story of the reality of how that team really felt about you. So, you know, I think mentally for a player that's not conducive to mental health when you're trying to give someone your all. And, you know, obviously everyone think they're worth more than what it is or what, it's a salary cap. So everyone got to be conducive to a cap. So I don't think it's, I feel like you don't have to be an agent if you got, a manager or any representation you trust to talk on your behalf. But it's a business. You're not going to want to, be negotiating with, with someone you're not seeing your worth direct,
So keep that shit on. Very important. Put the shit on, then keep it on.
Yeah, you got to put that shit
Because
on.
putting it on is only half the battle.
Yeah,
you gotta keep it on.
Yeah.
So fashion.
Yeah.
What's the vibe? What we doing with the fashion? You putting out your own clothing line, or you just having fun with it? What's your
Well, I'm just designing myself. Obviously we could run out a couple lines and push it, but you know what I mean? We just putting on right now. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to take nobody money. We just trying to let you see the establishment. And
Just
the
inspire.
threads.
Just
Yeah,
inspire
just
through the
inspire and encourage the people. We're not trying to make a killing off of them. We just showing the courageous vibes, showing the independency, showing the establishments. We just had a paradigm shift.
Do you feel like you're a rebel? Because, when you exited the league, obviously it was a lot of talk, a lot of controversy, and you was like, most people would have kind of took a step back from the public, but you was like, took a step forward, courtside games, all.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the mask.
Yeah, was that on purpose, or you just like?
Life worth living. Just because the world think I'm in chaos, that don't mean I'm in chaos. It's about staying true to yourself. I had a plan. You got to know when it's right to walk off. I did what was right for me. That don't mean it was right for everyone else. So it ain't for everyone else to understand at that moment. But it take courage. It take discipline. It take a lot of mental fortitude to, see people thinking you one way and you know what it is. You know what I mean?
And even in that moment, you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? When it seems like it's you against the league, you still show up to the Super Bowl. You bought your own ticket.
Of course, I bought the whole suite.
And bought the whole suite. So was it 200? Did you buy 200 seats for people, your local students in LA?
Of course, you know what I did.
See, like that story, like talk, yeah. So like talk about that, because that story gets like brushed aside.
Nobody want to hear the good stories. People want to hear about the bad guy. That's what sells. The news is not positive. It's negative, right? That's what people want to hear. That's the television. So I just fit the script of like a gangster, but like really I'm a nice guy that make a lot of business. But I can't help the way people write or what they think they make money off of is all the business.
Yeah.
But obviously being a successful player, you got to have good relationships to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL, to get the biggest contract, the only player ever, skilled player to make that type of money with the Steelers, you got to be doing something right. So it's not what others say, it's about what we do. So while they talking, I'm doing.
Right.
And I wasn't, I'm at the game to support my guy KD. That's usually I can't see that game if I'm in season.
Mm-hmm.
So what they wanted me to do, go in the house and just, if I go in the house, I don't have no motion. I'm a man, I got to be out here. No man worth nothing in the house. That's your girl, right? You need to be out, like, creating, bringing, being productive. So, when others, when others went low, I went high. They said I was crazy. Now they dancing like me. Put that shit on.
Put that shit on.
For real.
Put that shit
Oh,
on.
I love it. Put that shit. So let's talk about that, Booming Productions.
Yes.
So obviously you're the artist, but are we signing artists? Are we establishing?
Man, Booming Productions is my other. Booming Production, just the business I do business with, so they don't do business with me direct. They do it with my business, so they don't have to 1099 me. They could do my business. My record label is CAB Records, CAB. Cashing all bets. It's a lot of names behind that. But we got my own publishing, CAB Publishing. I own all my rights to my music. I got my own label. And matter of fact, it's not an LLC. It's, I'm in Delaware where you can't find the INC. It's really private, exclusive. Because I know a lot of people want to look at my address with the limited liabilities.
Yeah.
So I went to Delaware.
Delaware and Wyoming.
You know about that, right? They got the private business, but we in business clearly.
And the tax benefits.
Booming.
Business is always
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got. That's the game that they don't tell you.
That's what I know, you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, you dig. All those rights and masters, You know where they coming.
The only way. The only way. So, do you think that you're like a threat to the NFL, to the league? Like, because it's like, you everything you speak about is independence, 1099, and independent. Da, da, da. Do you think that because sports is not really made for people to be independent? Team sports is made for you to rely on a team.
Yes.
You think that you are like a threat to that system?
I'm not a threat to the system. I'm an advocate for the system. I've been through the system. I made it through the system. I mean, I didn't make it the way probably the system would like me to go about it. Everyone liked to win the Super Bowl, go out and talk. I won a Super Bowl, they still was talking crazy. I came back through all the adversity, won everything, and it's still the same. The value didn't change. The word on the street didn't change. Anybody could say anything at any moment, and they run with it. So for me, I feel like the NFL is not going to encourage anyone that's, walking out the game on their own will, not limping out or falling victim to them in regards to that, whatever that entails. I'm not here to create drama within me or any other player, but I'm the perfect example for an NFL player that walk away from the NFL in real time and become active in regards to whatever career I'm working on at that time. Most guys, they have to fall victim to the NFL. I don't see guys like me getting, millions of dollars to go talk on the sports shows, right? Deion Sanders had to go coach at Jackson State. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like a lot of big, you know what I mean? It ain't really a lot that you could do with leaving the game. It should be a study about what players do when they leave the game because, nobody hear from them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I remember that. I would watch HBO.
Yeah.
It's not the NFL, and there was always the "Where Are They Now" segment.
Yeah.
And it was always, they had some of them had started businesses, and some they would tell their stories about where they've been. But I think you're right. Like, when somebody leaves the game, when they're starting the game,
They die out.
especially in the NFL, unless they go into broadcasting, how do they remain a star?
Exactly.
And so, like, you have mastered that in a sense. So I wonder, how do you? Maybe are you concerned with how you're going to be remembered as an athlete? Because like your career speaks for itself, right? All-decade team.
Yeah.
I think first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. But does that ever cross your mind? Like, how am I going to be remembered? Or how are you going to feel if it's not first ballot?
When you a player and you speak as a coach and like how you want to be remembered is like, I just want my teammates to remember me as a guy that always never ran out of gas. God came with the same energy every day, no matter what. You could depend on me to make the plays. Only respect of the people I need is the people I play with, the coaches, the organizations that invested in me to know what I stood for, what I represent. It's not my job to worry about how others accept me or what they feel about me or to worry what I did. What I've done is do what's best for me and provide a service for every team I play for. No matter the disservice or what's the trauma or the drama, man, when AB was in the field, he gave you his all. Man, you was going to get 100%. I overcame the adversity. I persevered. Even when things wasn't right, I find a way to just remain happy and overcome. So when you gave everything you gave in your heart and you did everything you feel was the right way, you don't have no regrets. Only time you live in regrets when you took a shortcut. I feel like I did. Even if I didn't do something that may haven't been right and I learned from it off maturity, I still feel like, I was true to myself to stand on everything I did and, had a lot of great moments. And, I wrote up the record books, the archives, a lot of big highlights. And, I know my kids excited when they see it, and that's all that matters, They still doing the dance to the day. I ain't even got to score a touchdown. They scoring for me. They dancing. So I'm making clearly that's an impact. Clearly there's some influence. But, it's just all about encouraging, people to be their best selves so we can have better football, better world, better people, better leaders.
No, I mean, you bring up a good point with that. I never really thought about it like that. But, yeah, most NFL players, if you're not going to be a broadcaster, which there's very limited spots, nobody really stays. Even if you're successful, you're not a superstar.
Yeah,
like Deion Sanders, but it's hard to stay relevant.
Deion Sanders played 2 major sports. And after sports, it's like, yo, where he at? I didn't see the Jerry curl no more. I didn't see the swag. I didn't see it. Right or wrong.
They end up in the commercials for like.
Of course, always
like
chicken on the helmet.
On that helmet.
You know what I'm saying? It's not reality or no? Like, that's
the
what I'm
abrasive
seeing,
or
dog.
the elbow abrasive.
Yeah, the,
I seen Jerry
icy
Rice-
hot.
Yeah, I
icy
seen
hot.
Jerry Rice
Yeah,
with
with
icy
the
hot.
sleeve with Brett Favre, like the knee sleeve and shit.
Right.
Shout out to Brett
It's like,
Favre.
come on, dog.
Nah, but that's real though.
Yeah, it
he's
is.
probably the only one that at least in recent history that I could really think about that he's actually might have even become more popular
After.
after.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
I mean, that's what I said. Like that's influence. That's impact, right?
Call God.
And that's legendary.
That's the only.
That's the only person that could do it.
Gotta call God.
How did you come up with the call God thing?
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, in life, you know, we all gonna die. So it's like the whole attunement to life, the whole perfect of freedom is getting closer to God. So my motto, you know, I just gotta tap in with God, you know, because that's our source, you know, that's who give us, you see what I'm saying? So when I score the touchdown before I do the thing, I let them know I'm tapped in. You know what I'm saying? This is God doing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God.
Gotta call him.
So we got the music, we got the real estate. Is there something else that you want to add, or something else that's out there that inspires you to say, like, I think that's the next venture I want to tap into?
Yeah. Well, I got like 6 million jewelry. I got a 6 watch collection.
We talk about
You
the
know-
watch. We gotta talk
You
about
know
that.
the watches,
You just bought a watch.
of course.
No, a big one, a big purchase.
Hello.
Let's talk about. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, you know, assets are really big things. And, you know, me being an artist, you know, you need the assets. You know, jewelry, watches, Jacob & Co. watches, the values only go up. So while some guys go get the 400K Lamborghini Aventador, you know, I go get the 400K Godfather Jacob & Co. because the value only go up, and I could protect it with the insurance. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now that's an asset too, a part of my worth.
How many watches in the collection?
At least 10.
The watches. People don't appreciate that. Watches have appreciated, and this is a fact. In the last 10 years, watches has appreciated more than S&P 500 stocks.
Of course.
High-end watches,
High-end,
Rolexes.
not
Of
all.
course.
So you have like Rolexes, APs, Richard Millie's, things of that nature. The value, especially during the pandemic, they went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an asset, especially if you don't, you know, mess it up and put aftermarket diamonds,
That's
factory
key.
diamonds only.
Please.
Very
I've
important.
been in booming.
So you brought assets. The other
Yes.
side of the show is liabilities. So I'm wondering if there's
Yeah.
anything throughout your career that you were like, damn, that was a stupid ass move. Why'd I do that?
You know, I try to do the right things, you know. You know, we probably made it rain in a couple booby traps. But,
Here and there.
Support.
you know,
support
that was
the-
for the naked hustle.
Yeah.
You know, supporting the cause, but
Yeah. It's one of the cause.
you know what I mean? But for the most part, to keep
support
business
black
booming.
businesses.
You know, to keep business booming, you gotta save it to.
Saving to.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a fact. That is a fact. So, you have kids. Do you want them to? Well, would you encourage them to follow your footsteps in sports? Like, was it worth it? Because you know it's a lot of up and downs with the health aspect, with people criticizing you, but then there's a lot of positive, financially, fame. Looking back on it, you think it was worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it. Of course. But for me, my kids different. You know, my kids got 529 college fund, black, you know, black college rock fund. They got 529s. You know, the lifestyle a little different. So, you know, in life, I feel like, you know, your hunger, you know, hunger for life build your determination based on your position you in. So if you got kids who live in $1 million houses and just got pools all day, you know, why would they want to push themselves to go in the field and, you know, do that? So it's like, you know, for me, it's just helping my kid be their best selves and who they want to be. You know, everyone's not going to want to play football and do what I've done because, you know, that's considered insanity, you know, but I'm just there to help them be their best self in regards to whatever they want to do.
I mean, every time you speak now, I'm just thinking like, I wonder Do you feel a responsibility to teach the game that you know, right? When I hear 529 plans,
Yeah.
I'm hearing tax code in Delaware,
Yeah.
I'm hearing no state tax.
I got Symetra insurance,
right, like
Pacific.
insuring your
This
watches.
Lock in,
yeah.
you know, that lock in 2% every 5 years. You know, I got $6 million there, 200,000 a year. Every 5 years, that's $1 million. You know, I can afford a couple, you know, some more support. You know, if somebody out there want to drop a load or something. You know, I'm getting money or whatever. Can't help it, Brad.
The lessons you learn, that's the part I'm trying to get to. Do you feel like a responsibility, or do you even feel like, you know what, let me get a game to these young guys, especially the young receivers and athletes that you take a liking to? Are you giving them that game too?
You know, I don't want to try to be an advocate to try to sell people. You know, if you need, you know, educated, you know, we'll always try to be there for someone to educate them, but we just try to focus on our own business. You know, someone with Donda Sports will help them and get them along the right way. But we're not trying to be an advocate and be out here, you know, swindling people and helping, you know, to each his own in life. You know, you just got to make the best decision for you. Put yourself in the best position you want to be in. You know, everyone's taste for life ain't going to be my taste or your taste. You know, what I want out of life may not be what 90% of people want out of life as a male. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's all about your level of view, what you want for yourself, what you strive to be. You know, everybody don't want a lot of stuff, so they don't work for stuff. You know, when you're driven and you want, you got to work. So life is about work. And freedom is about making choices to get closer to God, because that's where we get our freedom. So for me, you know, that's how I live, that's how I move, that's how I think. So, you know, I've been able to have the financial freedom, you know, to have a clear mind. You know, most people, they just trying to get the bills paid. Mm. You know, I'm trying to buy the building. Mm. So just your appetite of life. You know, everybody ain't gonna want the Jacob and Co. and Richard Millie. They might just want the simple vibes, but it's just according to your taste. So not everybody want the God. And some people want they do the stuff themselves. They don't want to be a follower. Nowadays, the kids say they don't want to be a rider. They don't want to be riders. They want to be themselves. But to each his own. You know, I'm just here to bring positive energy, you know, encourage people in the midst of adversity and help people just stay true to themselves in the midst of adversity, because it's nonstop. You know, the trauma, the hate, you know, I'm just out here pioneering, you know, pushing the culture.
Call God if you ever need it.
You gotta call God.
Daily.
That's the most important thing.
Speed down.
Daily.
Yeah.
Daily affirmation.
Yes. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
It's love, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, good, man.
I should have brought the wine out and everything.
Cue the wine, please.
Got it, please.
Yogi, champagne, please.
Yes. AB, ladies and gentlemen.
Bowman. I was lit.
Hey, it's Troy and Rashad from Assets Over Liabilities. This episode's word, liability. This is the Asset Journal, brought to you by Ally. A liability is something a person or company owes, usually a sum of money. Liabilities are settled over time through the transfer of economic benefits, including money, goods, or services.
A liability is seen as something that takes money out of your pocket. However, a liability is anything that does not add value to your account or life. This can be friendships, relationships, and more. Only here on Revolt.
A dog.
Trey, respect.
I'm gonna hit you.
Honor,
Yeah.
Blessings.
Bowman. Revolt Bowman. Lemon Bowman. Call God.